guys, it's Linda from Solstice Ltd. Today I want to share with you what I have found to be the best acrylic paint to use on glass. I am a huge bottle and jar collector, so if the pasta sauce comes in a really cute shaped jar or really nice size, I end up keeping it. So I end up having to peel off the label and scrub off the glue, and I end up keeping them in hopes to make something out of them or to use them in a purposeful way. And it doesn't help that my most favorite drink right now comes in these cute brown bottles. So I have a ton of these right now, and I know I could recycle them, but my way of recycling them is to turn them into a piece of art. So this video, I want to share with you the different types of acrylic paint that you can use to paint your bottles with. Okay, let's get started. Painting on glass can be tricky, mainly because the surface of glass is very slick, it's non-porous, there's nothing really for the paint to grab onto. And so a lot of times when you paint on glass and you end up scratching it, the paint will come off. So I just wanted to share the different types of paint I found in my search for what I was looking for, which was more of the opaque finish. So something that wasn't transparent, I didn't want to see through it. There's a lot of that stained glass paint out there, but that wasn't the look I was trying to get. I wanted to have a nice finish to it. I wanted it to have a little shine to it, and also it felt good. I didn't want that tacky feel sometimes that you get with paint. So I think I found it, but also I wanted to share with you the different types of paints out there that you could achieve different surfaces using certain paints. So I want to share that with you. So let's get started. The four paints I wanted to show you are, the first one is this Craft Smart. They're all acrylic paints. This one's Craft Smart, and it's a matte finish, and it says it's all purpose. The things you can paint on, it's water based, and it is good for porous type of surfaces such as fabric, paper, canvas, so things that have a little bit more porousness to it, more tooth to it, something to stick onto. So that's Craft Smart in matte. I also have this Top Notch gloss finish, and this one's by Joann's, and it really doesn't give you much information in terms of what you can paint on. So this is gloss Top Notch. I also have this Folk Art plaid Folk Art paint, and this one is for multi-surfaces. So multi-surfaces, and on the back it's weather resistant. The first item that it says that you can paint on is glass. Ceramic is the second, and wood, and the list goes on. So this is a multi-surface paint. It is a satin acrylic paint, and this is Folk Art. I also have, I thought this would be fun, this is Martha Stewart's Pearl paint. It's in this beautiful lavender color, and it is a multi-surface paint as well. And her list also includes the glass as something you can paint on, wood, metal, just a variety of different surfaces that you can paint on. So that's the Martha Stewart Pearl paint. So let's begin by prepping our surface. We want to make sure that there are no oils on the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of paper towel and some alcohol. I'm just going to go over the sections of the glass that I'm going to be painting on. And that's going to help remove any oils that may have accumulated. So once the alcohol is dry, we can go ahead and begin painting our squares. I'm going to begin with this matte green, and I'm just going to go ahead and be generous with the paint. Just go over it. Try not to be too messy. And as you can see, it's got some streaks in it, which I'm not really crazy about, but I understand that with painting you have to do layers. So this is going to be my first layer, and it looks pretty good. I can hold it up, but it's got definitely some streaks to it. So that's the matte green by Craft Smart. I'm going to go ahead and do the Top Notch gloss paint in orange. Just take my paintbrush and paint in the same direction. See the difference in finishes. Once again, it's still pretty transparent, so I am going to have to do another layer on this one as well. Whoops, and I went right over the glossy part. That's okay. So just go through and cover the entire surface with the gloss paint. So that is my glossy orange. I'm going to go ahead and do the folk art multi-surface satin in black, and look at the way that goes on. That's nice. So this is more opaque, and it just has a very nice coverage overall. So there's that one. You can't really see through that one at all. So the opacity is nice. I'm not going to go over it too much time, so I'm going to let it dry. And the last one is the multi-surface pearl. And I'm going to just go ahead. I'm just going straight into the paint. I'm not dipping into any water or watering my paint down. Watering acrylic paint, it loosens that binder up, so that ability to stick to a surface when you add water becomes not as effective. So if you just add a little bit, that's okay, but water does alter the binding material in there. And that went on pretty opaque as well, so that looks pretty good. I like that. And that's that multi-surface pearl finish by Martha Stewart. So we're going to let this dry. It suggests that you let it dry for an hour before you do your second coat. We're definitely going to need a second coat, maybe even a third, just to cover up some of those streaks that you see. So we'll check back in an hour. So this is what the first layer looks like dried. As you can see, it is still pretty transparent on some of the finishes, and you can see a lot of the streaks on particularly the matte, glossy, and the multi-surface. The black multi-surface came out really nice and opaque, and I get that it's black, so maybe that had something to do with it. But just the overall, the way it went down, and when I was painting on it, just really, it was a nice feel to it. So we're going to go ahead and go on to our second layer of paint, and I'm going to start with my matte first. And this time I'm going to be painting in the opposite direction. Whoops. So I'm just going to be going more vertical this time. And that just, to me, that fills in any kind of gaps going the other direction. So that went on pretty nice. You can already tell that the finish is a little bit more matte looking, a little bit more drier looking. So that's the matte. In green, I'm going to go ahead and put down the orange. Once again, just going straight from the bottle and painting it on to my surface. And that's going on really nice. I like the way that feels as well. So just opposite direction again. I painted this way first, so now I'm going to go this direction. And that looks really good. It's coming along. That one got a little scratched, but you can see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and take the multi-surface in my black, and I'm just going to do my second layer in the opposite direction again. And that's going down real nice. So that's the black, and let's get a little bit more of Martha and her pearl, lavender pearl. This actually is pearl. That's the name of that color. I'm going to go ahead and get that and put that down. So definitely looking a lot more smoother without those streaks. And it's going down really nice. So there we go. That's my second layer. Still a little wet. Fix that up. let this dry for an hour, and then I think I'm going to do one more layer after this. It's still got a little bit of streaks going on. These two look a lot better. The black and the pearl look a lot better, but these still have a little bit of streaks, so I think I'm going to go over it a third time. So we're going to let this dry for an hour, and then we'll be back. So the second layer has completely dried, and as you can see, the matte and the glossy still has some streaks in it, and the multi-surface black looks really nice, and the pearl has some streaks in it. So we're going to have to go over it a third time. So let's begin. I'm going to go ahead, start with my matte green, and paint the entire surface. The third layer has dried, so now we can take a look at the different finishes side by side. The first one was that Color Smart, the green, and this is in a matte finish. So you can see it's a little bit rougher. There's no luster to it, no shine to it, and there's still some streaks in it. So I probably would go over this maybe one or two more times, and of course change the direction of how I'm painting. So that's the matte paint. Here is the glossy paint by Top Notch, and it still has some streaks in it, so I probably would go over that maybe one or two more times. And in terms of the feel, it's a little tacky. Might still be a little wet, but it is tacky. It's probably that gloss that's causing it to be a little tacky on it. So that's the glossy finish. I'm happy with it. I like it. I love the way it looks. The multi-surfaces look great. They're very opaque. I love the way they feel. They're not tacky at all. It's nice and smooth. I love that satin finish. And so this really just went on really nice. I might go over that pearl maybe one more time, but I think overall the multi-surface, if you're working with glass, works really, really nice. I also learned that you can cure your paint by placing them in the oven. So after I painted my bottles, I placed it in the oven on a cookie sheet on a piece of parchment paper, and I turned on the oven to 350 degrees, and I let the bottles warm up to 350 degrees for 30 minutes, and that cures the paint onto the glass. And it also, this was that glossy Top Notch paint that I used on this one. It actually took away that tacky feeling. So by curing it in the oven, it takes away any kind of tackiness to it. Here's the other one, the satin finish, cured for 30 minutes. I also spilt a little water on top of the white paint, and it didn't run. So that was really nice. On this one, I actually painted the bats, and then I painted the white line around it after it got cured, and you could see I dripped a little water on it, and it did run. So I'm gonna have to fix that and then place the bottle back in the oven and cure it for 30 minutes. So definitely a nice trick if you're painting on glass, is to cure the paint. So I hope that helps in your choice when you're painting bottles or jars and you're looking for that more opaque finish and the different choices you have out there. If you have any questions, please let me know. Leave a message below, comment. If you could possibly like, share, and follow me, I would really appreciate it. If you want to leave a message in terms of what other videos you'd like to see me do, let me know. Thanks guys, take care, have a great day.